What up, everybody? It's your man, Dame D, NYDC. It's Friday. You know how we doing Fridays, business corner. And we're going to sit down with another amazing guest who's doing some really amazing work here, right in my own backyard, here in the Woodbridge area. But it's all about sometimes divinity or just that divine inspiration, if you understand what I'm talking about. And today's guest, she brings all of that. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, joining me on the other mic today in Two Mics Up Business Corner is the amazing Caprice Piper. Caprice, how are you doing this fine Friday afternoon?
Listen, I am blessed. I woke up this morning. God is
Hey,
good. So I am
hey,
I'm feeling mighty blessed on this fine Friday.
okay. Look, I'm with you, and that's the beginning, to everything. The Lord allows us to wake up and put air in our lungs and allows us to do the things that we do. But you're
Exactly.
really doing a lot of divine, inspiring things. And before we get into divine inspirations, which is really yours, and your lane, I always have to start by opening up and asking, to let us into your life. And if you could just take a few moments to tell us, who is Caprice Piper?
Well, Caprice Piper, one like I said, I started off this saying that I'm grateful to just wake up this morning. So I am first and foremost a woman of God, and I am a faithful follower. And most importantly, I am a mother.
Mm,
I'm actually, believe it or not, a mother of seven children.
wow.
Um,
Wow.
Seven children, yes. A wife. I married my high school sweetheart when I was 18, 19 years old.
Wow.
And so Caprice Piper today is a woman who is advocating for young women of color, Black and brown girls. I have dedicated my life to changing the trajectory of young girls, Black and brown. I've dedicated my life to that. So that is who I am. I am a woman of color that is supporting other women of color, and I am a champion. I am their voice.
I love that. Look, I don't care how we cut it and how we slice it. The women, especially in the Black and brown community, are the foundation, of who we are and what we represent today. I would not
Exactly.
be here. No, and I have to, being raised by a single mother, I could not be the person, the man that I've become. And I mean, would love to have had my dad in my life, but
Yeah.
she really laid the foundation for me. So I commend you, and I want to give you your flowers and kudos for the work that you're doing to champion, as you
Yes.
said, for our young Black and brown women. And that really leads me then to, as you're championing, that call, or that call was given to you to lead, how did you really come to develop, Divine Inspiration Center for the Arts?
Funny you should ask that because I'm thinking back to just recently, just maybe about 2 or 3 days ago, where my mother-in-law, she shared something with me, and this was a full circle moment.
Mhm.
So basically, so let me just start from the beginning. Being a young mom,
Mhm.
I was a teen mother. Um, I was married really young, but I knew it was something more for me, right? I knew
Right.
that God put me on this earth, yes, of course, to be a mother, to be a great wife, and so forth. But my mission was bigger than that, and I
Mm.
had this tug inside of me. Um, just kept, and I was always in dance, always involved in the arts, always involved in like my local community centers, the Boys and Girls Club. I grew up in the Alexandria, Virginia area, so
Okay.
really tight knit kind of community. So I always had that sense of and that passion for the arts and that
Mhm.
drive, and had a lot of energy.
Mhm.
So when I found myself as a young mom at this time, I'm 23, 24. By this time, I've had my 5th child.
Wow.
And so it's like, okay, there has to be something more for me to give to the world, because we're all put here. We're all here on a mission, right? It's whether the difference is you either understand and find out what that mission is early on, or sometimes it's just like later on in life. But I had the pleasure of identifying what my calling was and why he placed me on this earth. And so before I had that tug of actually starting Divine Inspirations, I dabbled into, I've always been the one to get young girls together. My mother actually, when you just shared yourself, and I can relate to being raised by a single mother, my mother actually laid that foundation of giving back and community service into me. She actually founded an organization called Sisters Keeper. And when I say my mother literally would open up her home, she transformed my basement into a computer lab for children of color, mom's children to come there as a way to learn. And so growing up in that environment, it cultivated something in me as well. And so fast forward to now, I'm 18, 19, I have my little one. And so I just wanted to be involved in dance because dance saved me. It saved my life. I have some stories to tell, but it did definitely save my life. It kept me on course, and so I wanted to be able to give that same thing to one. I just started with, the young ladies just in my family, just in my circle. Who can I impact just in my circle alone? And so I took these young ladies, we would praise dance, and I did that right out of my mother-in-law's living room.
Wow.
And so one day I came to her, and I'm about to bring this story full circle here. One day I came to her and I said, okay, I want to start this organization. I want to start something. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I know I don't have the funds to do it, none of that, but I need a name. I need a name, because it's like when you have a business, there's no business without you having first, let me just get a name, right? Let me get a name. And that maybe motivate me to keep going. And so she is when I say a prayer warrior, she is that for me and my family. And so when she said, okay, well, first of all, we're going to pray about this, right? We're going to pray about this. And so long story made short, the name Divine Inspirations is what she gave me. She gave me divine. Actually, she gave me divine, and I added the inspirations.
Wow.
So you got the divine, right? And you have inspirations.
I love it. Divine
Inspirations. Okay, so fast forward to that pull and that tug in me. So I had this pull and this tug in me to start this program. And so literally, I was doing the 9 to 5. I was doing all that because, I had this sense of, again, remember, I was a young mother. So I can't be out in these streets, trying to, I have to do what I need to do. And I was always very much intelligent. So yes, I did the 9 to 5. I did that. But again, I just wasn't happy. I did what I needed to do to survive and support my livelihood. But in terms of my spirit was too big for the cubicle.
I understand that.
My spirit was too big for the cubicle. And so literally without a lot of prayer, I just, I'm out. I'm out.
Went out on faith.
On faith. And it was a journey though.
I bet.
That was a journey. It let me, but it built my spirit. When I talk about journey, I had to lose a lot of stuff, but I had to be okay with losing that. I had to be okay with that paycheck not rolling in consistently. I had to be okay with starting from nothing. What you say, starting from the bottom now? I had to start from the bottom. And so that's when I really said, okay, I have the name. I've been sitting on this name. I've been sitting on the idea. I've been telling myself all the reasons why I can't. I don't have the money. I don't
Right.
really have the time. That's all crap. It was
Oh,
the enemy trying
yeah.
to tell me and
Mm-hmm.
keep me from walking into my
My
calling,
call.
right?
That's right. That's right.
So so it was a literally. So the thing is, sometimes you just when you have to leap, you have to leap, and you have
Mm.
to trust that he's gonna catch you.
Catch you.
And
That's right.
so, and I mean, it's every day. Every day is it
Mm-hmm.
was some days where it's like what I'm
Whew,
telling
I
you,
know.
I'm standing in
I
pantry lines
know.
at this point, right?
I
I'm
know
standing
that's
in
right.
pantry lines to feed my children, but
Mm.
I'm still hustling in the
Mm-hmm.
background. I'm
Right.
hustling. I'm creating opportunities right here in my community. So I started off using one of the local community centers, took out an
Mm-hmm.
ad on Craigslist, okay,
Right.
printing off some flyers the best I could print, went to the local library because you can get free stuff, free prints
Okay.
there. So
Okay.
I made it right. So the message here is in my process of starting Divine Inspirations, which was where it started Divine Inspirations. Later, it became Center for the Arts as well. But in my process of that, I used my local resources that was made
Right.
available to
Right. To
me
you.
to as my stepping stone,
Right. Right.
right?
Right.
Believe it or not, it's many resources here. So
Oh
here's
yeah.
my full circle moment that made me remember. It's always little signs here and there that always keeps you on the track. And even if it's just Coach Caprice, I thank you so
Mm.
much. Those type of
Right.
small things keep you going.
Right.
But here's the thing. Here's the deep part of how God reminds you.
Okay.
So just a couple of days ago, and it has been a little rocky because in business and as a business owner, right?
Yep.
You're
Yep.
gonna have some high days, you're gonna have some low
Got some
days,
low
you're
day.
gonna have some what the
Yep.
days, right?
Yep. Oh, without
and
question.
without question, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so I've been having some of those days,
Okay.
and so been having some struggles here and there. Not, my lack of motivation wasn't there,
Mm-hmm.
and so, but here's one thing. So I told you how I got, married really young.
Mm-hmm.
And still to this day, we are happily married. And so that in itself is a beautiful thing, right?
Look,
It's a
that's a
beautiful
blessing.
thing.
That's a beautiful thing and a blessing. Okay.
Beautiful thing. So 20 years, seven
Wow.
children later, and here we are.
Right.
So my husband lost his father really young.
Wow.
And I'm really close to his family, and we're a really tight-knit family, but he lost his father really young. He's the only child, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so a few days ago, my mother-in-law came to me and she said, I want you to hear this and see this. So basically what she showed me was a poem that my father-in-law had written. And in the
Okay.
poem, and this was February 1983. I was born in
Wow.
85. So 2 years before myself or my husband was born, right?
Okay.
In the poem, there's a line where he writes, and I almost got to quote it. I have my phone, but he
Mm-hmm.
writes, the love for children, how divine,
Mm.
how inspirations.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
And
Spoke even before you was even thought of. But that seed was
before
already there.
the seed was already there, he had already planted the seed, right, for
Wow.
our family. and
Wow.
and and we're talking 2 years even before my husband, his son, was even born.
Wow.
So it spoke volumes to me to one solidify that I am doing exactly. He strategically, right? He worked with
Mm-hmm.
God to
Of
orchestrate
course.
this
That
family, right?
that
These two
message, yep,
young,
all of that.
these right, exactly. These two
Mm-hmm.
young individuals. I had some trauma in my life as a child, obviously dealing with a parent who had just passed away, certainly some trauma there, right? As a 15,
Mm-hmm.
16-year-old young man, right? Now,
Right.
no father. So we
Wow.
were purposely put together because
Yeah.
again, that was orchestrated because he knew the beautiful things that was going to come out of our marriage and our
That is
union
amazing.
together. And so he himself, right, was a advocate for young men. He did beautiful things and works in the city of New Orleans in Louisiana. Almost born with nothing, but he was out in his community, being a champion for young men who didn't have fathers like himself, And so
Yeah.
talking about full story moments. So when you walk into your calling, believe it that it was already ordained for you before you even landed on this earth. So
ain't
just
gotta
be
get tell me.
obedient. Yeah. Be obedient to your calling. That is my message that I want to leave. And so, yeah, I'm a talker, but let me
No,
say
hey,
this.
no,
I
look,
want
it's fine. No, it's fine. But I mean, sometimes, people have to hear this, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes there are those in our community who don't think that it's possible.
Yeah.
There are those that don't have the avenues or the education or the access to have this type of information. And this is why, like, sometimes I sit and I do like to let my guests talk because it's a message that needs to be heard. And I say
Yeah.
that I am blessed to be able to even have this platform to allow others to hear this. And if one
Yeah.
person who looks like you or myself can understand that there are avenues and ways out there, and all it takes is your grit,
Yeah.
your determination, you too can find a better way. Understand it's not going to be easy because nothing is easy, but it's all on you. And it is,
All on you.
it's already your destiny. It's already been preordained. It's just that sometimes you just got to do the work. You have to be
Yeah.
given the tools to do the work.
Yeah.
And, it's fine,
That's
and that's
it.
why I sit back and I listen. Look, I have a story, and that I totally understand. First of all, this wasn't even in my mind. This wasn't my calling. This was my wife's idea, to be doing exactly what I'm doing. I thought she was crazy. Really, what do I know? But she was like, no, in her exact words, she said, there's something about it. You have a way with people. You make people feel comfortable. You make people
Yeah.
feel that it's okay to talk. That it's okay. So you want to create a safe space, a safe environment.
Yes.
I don't know where I never saw myself in that manner, but
Yep.
obviously she did, and the man upstairs did. So, well,
Yep.
here we are, right? So, but you
Yeah.
got to put in work. A lot of times, some people,
Yes.
you see this, you think this is easy. You don't know how many
Yep.
hours I had to put in behind the scenes to even get myself to this point to even make you feel comfortable. Because if I wasn't comfortable, I can't make you comfortable.
Amen
So
to
this
that.
okay. So there's work. There's work. But I
That's
do want to
right.
transition to and ask you, with everything that you've done and what you've been through and overcome, and now what you're doing, I totally get a clear message on your vision of what you're trying to do with Divine Inspiration Center for the Arts, for our young Black and brown women in our communities. But I do want to ask this a little bit off the beaten path, but if you had like a magic wand
Mhm.
and you could change one thing, in the community through DICA, right? We're going to use them as the hub. And you sitting there, and Caprice waves her magic wand. What is one thing that you would like to see change or have an impact or role in playing change through DICA on our community?
On our community.
Mhm.
Yeah. So listen, magic wand. Shoo. Listen, there are opportunities for Black and brown girls without question, without there being an issue of resources or lack thereof. So
Okay.
here's the thing. Here in our community, specifically the Prince William County community,
Mhm.
there's no outlets in terms of dance performing arts, right? So here's the deal, right? So there's one performing arts high school in the county, Cogan Senior Performing Arts School. Okay.
Mhm.
It has all types of opportunities. Obviously, they're sending 90% of their over 90% of their classes, straight off to college and so forth. So there's opportunities in the arts in our county. However, there's Black and brown girls only make up probably 5% of the graduating class, and in terms of the dance program at Cogan Senior High School. So when you look at how are we giving Black and brown girls an opportunity to audition successfully to get into that school that's going to open doors for them after post-secondary school, right? So the bottom line is that if Black and brown girls aren't training in these expensive studio facilities, they are not going to have the opportunity to audition well and actually get a spot and a seat into that performing arts school. Because the bottom line is you have to audition to get into their program, whether you are MD zoned or not. You can go to Cogan Senior High School, but you still have to audition to get accepted into their specialty programs. And they are the only arts program in the entire county. And so with that being said, now you have a lot of Black and brown girls who are super talented, right? But they can't pursue the arts in high school on an actual, when I'm talking about arts education, where they're actually bringing in guest choreographers, celebrity choreographers. These students at Cogan are traveling to New York and getting Broadway training, and they are getting, when I'm talking about professional experience, that's obviously a stepping stone, and that's what life is all about. Is getting a foot ahead. And we always are lacking behind. We always 2-3 steps behind. So my magic wand would be, we're 4 or 5 steps ahead now. Okay. So Divine Inspirations is going to have a foundation where Black and brown girls will be able to train on every level. So it really should start on an elementary school level, just like music is, right? You have chorus, which is a art. You have band. You have, like I said, the choir. You have visual arts, art class. So there's different arts programs, but then, and then of course you have the sports and so forth, and you have cheerleading, know, but there's no dance.
Why not make it the full encompassing circle? Bring that as well, to our youth. I think that is awesome, because that it makes me think back to when that's almost like an extracurricular activity that sometimes you have to do on your own or outside the bounds of school. And I think you make a very valid point, because so many of our community, dance is a huge part of our education, as well as our celebration of life and different things in our culture. So why not make it a part of the school program? And I really love that. We need to get you that magic wand and make it happen. I mean, I really love that. But I do want to take a quick pause for the cause, ladies and gentlemen. I do want to take a moment to transition and thank our advertising partners who have been a huge help in allowing Two Mics Up to bring, guests like Capriece Piper and Divine Inspiration Center for the Arts to you. So we're going to just step away for a short pause for the cause, and we'll be right back after the break. We're going to talk about some programs that you can find at DICA with Capriece Piper. I'm sorry, excuse me. Be right back after the break. All right, ladies and gentlemen, fresh out the break, we back. Second half, amazing conversation with Capriece Piper, of the Divine Inspiration Center for the Arts. And Capriece, she really gave us, a lot of who she is as a person. We talked about, making change, with the magic wand. And I really loved, her real dope, interpretation and expression of how to really impact, our community positively with that wand. But we're going to transition and really go further because she mentioned programs, in that piece. And I want to allow Caprice to be able to candidly talk about, the classes and programs that we here as a community, and I'm talking to you, Prince William County. If you guys are you watching, you listening, take advantage of what Caprice is about to share, where we can go and send our young daughters to go ahead and find that divine inspiration, by registering with Caprice Piper. Caprice, go ahead and talk to us about your classes and programs.
Yeah. So we first of all we start with ages 3. So we take them when they're really really young, all the way up to 17, 18. Most of our students kind of phase out around the 17, 18 because they graduate and they go off to college and so forth. But we are an all girls program. And again, we start from ages 3 and we go all the way up to 17, 18 years of age. And basically what you can find here at Divine is we are a full service studio. So what is a full service studio? Meaning then we offer more than one type of style of dance. And we actually offer multiple styles of dance. So we are the premier studio for a style of dance called Majorette. The majorette style of dance stems from HBCU. HBCU is historically Black college universities. And if you know anything about the HBCUs, it's all about the band, right?
Right.
And when in front of the band, what do you have in front of the band? You have those dancers. And those
right.
are the majorettes. Those are majorettes. So we are not the majorettes that twirl the batons. We are the majorettes that you will see on that football field that has class, has style, that has full energy. You might see them in the stands with the band, with the marching band, and they have that style, that sass, that class with them, that divine energy. And so we are the premier studio for that style of dance. However, we offer Tiny Tot program. Our Tiny Tots is from 3 to 6. It's a creative movement class. They learn different type of styles of dance. Same for our 7 to 11 and our 12 and all the way up to 17 group, from ballet to jazz, tap. We now even have a step team, that is really, really new. So we are definitely rocking and rolling in terms of lineup of our classes. We have cultural dance where we teach different styles of cultural type styles of dances. We have contemporary, liturgical. Liturgical is one of my first loves. I teach liturgical actually. And then of course our competition team. Our competition team is one of the baddest teams in the DMV. Let me tell you, okay? You better ask somebody, or you need to Google us if you don't know. But yeah, that's a little bit about our programs. And then most importantly, I want to share is our Empower Her program. Empower Her is our mentorship. It's really about cultivating the health and wellness, the mental wellness of our Black and brown girls, because we know how much they are up against. And so mental health is so important, and self-love. And so we are truly more than just a dance studio. We can't even put us in a box like that and say we are even a performing arts. You know what I mean? And so that's a little bit about our programs.
I love it. You're killing the game. I mean, just from young, our 3-year-olds to our 18-year-olds, every style of dance and form in between. The most, to me though, obviously the thing that stands out the most is just the mentoring portion, the Empower Her. I think that's really critical. In today's world, with everything going on, with our youth being bombarded with this social media, everyone, they like me, they don't like me. And just to be able to traverse, just being a young human being in this different world. But it really makes me think though, and I have to ask this though, Caprice, like, you're doing a lot to pour into others. Like, one, how do you find the energy to continue to give, right? And then
Mhm.
who's pouring into you, when things get
Ooh,
hard? Because I think that's a very critical piece, because you're a giver. And I think that part,
yes.
that element, as a business owner, and I'm talking to business owners now, because I think it's important that they really hear, who's pouring into you, when things get really
Mhm.
hard, for Caprice.
Yeah, that can be a little tricky. So for one thing, let me say this is that I've created a village, right?
Okay.
DRCA is truly a village, and that for me is where I can get sometimes get my I get filled up because the thing is that bottom line is when you are walking truly in your calling, yes,
Hmm.
there's going to be times where you just are just dog tired and you're
Yeah.
drained because dealing
Right.
with the people, working with the people, especially people's children and
Yeah.
their parents is
Yeah.
draining.
Yep.
So you do need a refresher, but I could tell you this, you have to find appreciation in wherever you can,
Yeah.
right? So if I get a phone call with a parent who's excited about enrolling in my program, I need to be
Mm.
I'm grateful for that.
Right.
I'm grateful for that because there is no divine center for the arts, bottom line, if I don't have students or parents to patronize my
True.
business,
True.
right? So at the end of the day, yes, they could be the same ones that drain me, but I also am filled up by their love. They reassure me that they that their child is changing and reinforming me, or all they got to do is call or say Coach Caprice's name in their household, right? And their daughters are straightening up. So things like that, it's just that
Yeah.
fills me up because at the end of the day, it reminds me that I'm changing lives. I'm
That's
changing
right.
lives. So that's
That's right.
one thing. But then I also, again, like I said, I have two strong women in three strong
Hmm.
women that are consistently praying for me. And that's my mother, my
All
mother-in-law,
right.
and my grandmother.
Wow. All right. Whew.
Like down to the bottom line is when I'm having whatever it is life is throwing at me, they have a way of lifting me up, and then just
Right.
be prayer in general, right? But then you
Right.
just need now in terms of being like real, like in life, I have days where I have to block off social media.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need a reboot. I mean,
Yeah.
like literally not, I
Yeah.
don't care. I don't even care where my phone is. Like just
Right.
leave it alone.
Yep.
I have to
Yeah.
shut down for a little bit and shut out the outside world
Yeah.
totally and
Yeah.
completely. I need those days to reboot because you're gonna
Hmm.
have days where your tank is on E.
Ooh, you ain't never lied
Um,
about that.
right? You're
Hmm.
gonna be on E. But in terms of pouring into me, I do have a struggle with that because
Mm.
sometimes since I am such a giver, a lot of times when
Yeah.
people pour into me, I still feel like I need to give something
Yeah.
back to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm still learning. To be totally honest,
That
I'm
is.
still learning to allow people to pour into me.
No,
And
I
I'm
totally get
learning
it.
that.
No, I
Yeah, I'm
totally get
learning
it.
that.
I think myself, and I think most people that I've talked to, and people that are, in situations like, being business owners, doing the kind of work that you're doing, I find it hard to, you're always looking for ways to give. And when people are trying to give to you, you have a resistance, if you will, because it's not
Yeah.
normal, right? At least it doesn't feel normal.
It
Like,
doesn't
wait a
feel
minute,
normal, right?
it doesn't, right? It doesn't. Wait a minute, I'm supposed to be doing
Hmm.
this for you. So I get it, but I've learned that when I find myself in those places, I too now automatically I just go dark, and that could be
Mm,
whether it be for a day, it could be 3 days, five, whatever it is. But to me, that's a
mhm.
sign that you know what, you need to receive whatever this is. Um,
Yeah.
you don't need to be worrying about the show. You don't need to be worrying about,
Hmm.
advertisers. You don't need to be worrying about this event.
Yep.
You need it. And I find though, and it's true, and I find though when I do that, I come back, I am now fully charged. I
Hmm.
am now
Hmm.
full. I
Yes.
am filled to the point where I can run through this wall. Right now, I'm back
Yeah.
to that point. My
Right.
energy is
Yes.
overflowing. Like there's a
Yes.
no stop. But like you don't see it, and I've just learned to take those messages now. You know,
Yes.
just sometimes it could be random people. Sometimes it's people I haven't heard from in a while. Oh, D, hey, I saw you, man. You all right? Yeah, like you didn't. You didn't look like yourself, or you didn't sound like.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you got to
Mm-hmm.
listen to those things, right?
Yeah.
So, and actually, but I totally get where you're coming from in that. But
Yeah.
I just want to share that with all. Take it for what it is. Sometimes it's a message. Take a tick
It
for yourself.
is.
It's okay. There's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
taking time for yourself. It's okay.
Yeah, no, and you're right, because after that, and when I was just telling, when I, started talking about this interview, I shared with you, I was having some, those days where I was
Days,
a
right,
little,
right.
and towards the end, that's when my mother-in-law actually shared that. So that was God's, because when I'm
Yeah.
talking about randomly, the oldest piece of paper, I don't know where she found it at. It's been years. Now
Right.
I'm talking about, he wrote this in 1986.
Wow.
1983, and
Wow.
here it is, 2025. So that was, Caprice, you
I
got
appreciate.
this. You know what
Yeah,
I
you
mean? You
do.
got this.
Confirmation.
Yeah. I need a
Confirmation.
confirmation. Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that. At least,
Do you have those days though where, even when you're trying to chill and relax, you feel kind of guilty, like you should be doing
of
something?
course, of course, because again, though, you're so used to, doing those things and doing things with the
Yeah,
thought pattern of others, right? Because
that's true.
I'm not gonna. As a human being, you are selfish and you do things for yourself. I mean, this is a business, right?
Yeah.
Just because this is a talk show or podcast or whatever people think it is, yes, this is a business for me. I don't do this just for fun, right?
Right.
But there are days that, like, I do feel guilty sometimes when I first wake up. I'm like, you know what, today, I might have had a conversation with a wife, a friend, somebody. Sometimes I get emails or texts from guests, just different things that just may make me say, "Dang, I might need to take a minute." So when I first wake up,
Mm-hmm.
maybe that next day, those first 2 or 3 hours are hard because, like, I'm so used to, I'm in my habit,
Right.
right? And I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, you're supposed to be doing something. Like, you're wasting
Yeah.
time. Like, wasting time don't make no
Yes.
money and that type of thing. But I've learned,
Exactly.
like, right.
Right.
No, really. But
Right.
I've also learned
Right.
that it's okay because if I'm not here, I'm
Hmm.
not making no money. My family's not gonna have me. Like, all of these things really
Okay.
have to
Right.
start coming to the forefront. Like, yeah, this is great that you're doing, but why are you doing it? Because I want to be able to do it while I'm still here with my wife and my family
That's
for
true.
them to enjoy.
That's right.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
So you got to shift your perspective, and that's
That's
what
right.
I've learned to just change my perspective. It's okay. The world's not
Yeah.
going to stop tomorrow,
That's
or
right.
today. You can
Yeah, that's
pick
right.
up, So
Yeah, you literally got to tell yourself that
you do.
it's all right if I don't send out them emails today.
Yes, it is. Because guess
It's
what?
gonna
They'll
be
still get it
okay.
tomorrow. They'll still get it tomorrow when you send it. So it
That's
is.
right.
It
Okay.
really is. Um, but we're coming to the back half. Amazing conversation. I really enjoyed talking with you today, Caprice. But I
Yeah.
want to ask, you know, um, is there anything on the schedule, for you and the Divine Inspiration Center for the Arts that maybe you want to talk about that's coming up here in 2024? We would love for you to share that and have the opportunity to get that out to our audience, because we really want, we all about support here. We want to be able to get
Yeah.
people to come out and support you and the work that you're doing, your team that's doing at DICA.
Yes, yes, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
definitely. Started off as a one-man show, but now we definitely have a strong team of like-minded women that looks like me as well. So we have several events coming up that we are going to be out in the community. You can find us out in the community fairly often, especially now that we are in February, Black History Month. So one of the biggest performances that we're doing is supporting the town of Dumfries. One of our big supporters. They always have a annual Black History program at Little Union Baptist Church. It's going to be held on February 24th at 11 a.m. We're going to be presenting 2 dance performances. The theme is actually Blacks in the Arts. So we're really excited to bring forth 2 pieces. We are also going to be in the Prince William County Economic Development. They are also having a Black History Month. It's going to be during the daytime, I believe that's going to be like February 20th, 21st or so. But what you can do in terms of all of our lineup of performances, because we have a big competition that's going to be in July. It's called the DMV Summer Showdown, and we are defending our title for the 3rd year. So we're going back for the 3rd year in a row to try to take on that title. The best in the DMV so far. We've been holding it down. So we're trying to hold it down for the 3rd year in a row. We have some big hitters coming out that's been on TV and so forth. And so that's July at the in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. I believe the date is July 16th. But I can tell you what, you can find out more information about our events, where we are, how you can support us in our non-for-profit, our scholarship programs, our mentorship programs. Our website is, of course, www.sodivineinc.org. And same for our handles on Instagram, at So Divine Inc. on Instagram. TikTok is the same handle. Facebook is So Divine Inc. Programs. And so we are just so happy to have the opportunity to get in front of our community. Please come out and support. If you have any young ladies that want to enroll in our program, if you are financially having financial hardships, we do offer scholarships in our programs as well. Awesome. So let's not make money a reason to hinder our Black and brown girls from the arts.
That is so awesome. I really cannot say enough how much of a pleasure it has been to have the opportunity to sit with you today, Caprice. You are an amazing, human being. You're an awesome mother. You're an awesome, person to have here in our Prince William County community. Continued success to you, your team, and everything that you're doing with Divine Inspiration Center for the Arts. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, Caprice Piper. I want to go ahead and say, hey, that's right. Throw it in there. Hey, we want to go ahead. Look,
you know what I'm saying? I'm a dancer. I got to do a little jig for you.
Not mad at all. Ladies and gentlemen, join me next week. I'll be coming back, here with Business Corner. For those of you who want to know about the benefits of podcasting, now, been blessed to have the opportunity to join and partner with the Mogul Global TV Network. And we are doing basically a call for content creators. If you are someone who's a podcaster or talk show host or would like to start your own show, get at me. Putting together a nice new program. And I'm looking to start my own channel on the Mogul TV Global Network. Why don't you become a part of my channel? This is something that interests you. Join me next week. I'll be talking about the benefits of podcasting just to give you a glimpse. And as you know, you can follow me. My name's Damon Cunningham. I'm the host of Two Mics Up. You can follow me across social media, IG, Facebook, X, LinkedIn at damednydc. Continue to follow Two Mics Up as well across all social media, IG, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And if you happen to be watching this right now on YouTube, make sure you go ahead and you subscribe to the channel. Before you leave, don't forget to hit that bell so that you can be notified by all the latest content coming to you from me here at Two Mics Up. Make sure you mark your calendars. Monday nights, 8 p.m., Season 6, Mogul TV, Global Network. Two Mics Up is still rocking. We getting it in. And I know that was a mouthful. That was a lot. But we got a lot of things happening here, y'all. I got a lot of things going on. Got a lot of things going on. And don't forget, you here Friday, right? This is Friday. We got the Mogul TV Global Network and Business Corner, what you're watching today. Fridays, 1 p.m. on our YouTube channel. It'll be airing on LinkedIn and X. So make sure you follow us there as well. And like we always do at this time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave you with a couple of things. May you all stay safe, stay blessed. Mike's out.